So we have our preliminary match between Matt Phillip, qualifier number 11 from Dell Lanes in BC Delta area, and we have Len Anseth from Cutknife, Saskatchewan, number 22 qualifier, playing out of Sherwood Park, Alberta, at Sherwood Lanes.
Couple of early mornings for guys as we plan this match, right? So, Len, you would have had to come in early, and obviously the match time is 9 o'clock your time in Vancouver area, Matt. So early mornings for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
And one thing we didn't know before this match is about to commence is you're both left-handed.
Yeah, that's a proper hand to throw with.
a rarity in our sport, and to have both of you against each other, that's pretty cool. I wonder if the left-handed thing, there's quite a few lefties out of BC. Maybe that's a BC thing. What happened to you, Len? You got dropped on your head or something? Or
something like that, yeah.
A couple of times.
Have you guys done anything to prepare for this match? I know it's been a long time coming. Have you had any practices or anything like that?
Yeah, I've thrown quite a bit myself. I usually go to our lanes once or twice a week with my 13-year-old daughter, and we bowl 8 games, and she probably beats me in 5 of those 8 games, and I come home licking my wounds. So.
And you, Matt?
Yeah, I'd say a little bit of practice.
Just the quiet confidence. I like it both these guys, right? Like, let's get this match going. Enough talking already.
Yeah, it's an early morning. Haven't had their coffees yet.
Does that affect you? I mean, the early morning, the time of day, does it really make a difference? Or have you been up now for a few hours, or really it's already afternoon anyways? It doesn't make a big deal.
Doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, I know for me, this is, I got up early this morning, but same time I get up every day to go to work anyways. And as for bowling, most tournaments, it's what you usually start is in the morning, or if you're going to be bowling on a Sunday, this is the time you're going to be starting. So it feels quite natural, actually.
Good. Nice quiet bowling center too. Not a lot of people at either one of your places, obviously, right now.
Yeah, that's right. It's pretty empty here.
Oh yeah, it's dead. Perfect.
Yeah. We'll be able to pick up every sound, right?
Yes, exactly. Well, we won't hold you off, guys, any longer. So go ahead and get ready and start your match.
Sounds good.
All right.
Good luck, Matt.
Good.
All right.
Yeah, we better get the clock going here quick, because it could potentially be a quick match. We know Len Anseth is a fast bowler. I don't imagine him looking at the score a whole lot. He's probably just about to do his thing and rip along and
Exactly.
get things going, right?
Yeah, he's ready to rock and roll. Unfortunate start, but
so 3-game total pinfall. After each game, we'll stop it and chat and give an update as far as how many points or where they're at in the match, but they don't have to keep pace with each other, right? So a guy can finish all 10 frames and be done within 4 minutes and then sit there, but you have to wait for the other guy to finish the first game. But at the end of the day, it's a 3-game total match pinfall. Total pinfall.
Yeah, exactly. They can go at their own pace for each game, but the match is meant to be finished as a whole, so.
Don't know a whole lot about Matt Phillip out of Dell Lanes. Now, obviously, down in the Surrey is where Dell is, but did finish 11th in the qualifying shift. Some solid scores. I wouldn't say anything. Well, he had the 380 in there in his 4th game, which really propels the guy. But 250, 240, 280, 380, 260, 304, 240, 280, right? So for 22.53 qualifying.
Yeah, great score. We'll probably get you in just about every WCBT event. So obviously great scoring for him as well.
Now Dell Lanes is same. We've had Marcus Borkowski that we know of. He's on tour that bowled out of there. Ryan Edwards was another one that missed the cut by 1 pin, I believe. Unfortunately,
yes.
Was one of the very last entries to play and missed it by 1, and that's where I got my spot in. But so a few guys bowling out of Dell Lanes that played okay, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So obviously the scoring is fairly decent there. And that's something we've seen over the few matches that we recorded already, is that the scoring seems pretty even across the centers. It doesn't seem like there's an overabundant amount of pins on one side or the other.
Yeah, I mean, every match we've recorded has ended up being super close too. Now, whether that's the lane conditions, or is it just really you're in a match play, and after the first game, you know how many points you're at, so it's just constantly like, oh, I'm only down 5 or I'm up 7. Like things work out in a match, you know. And we haven't had somebody throw a 390 or a 400 the first game, and you're up by 150.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So Len's 5 for 5 on the middle, right? Obviously a little miss there in 6th. Not ideal. 6 for 6, I guess he is, obviously. Matt, a punch there in 3-2 with, open 5 count. So be careful to, again, tough playing Len's pace. Kerry, can you give any insight on that, on playing Len in a match, and how do you deal with that as a competitor?
Yeah, it's when you're playing one-on-one live, it's his pace of play definitely has an effect on you. So you just gotta pay no heed to what he's doing and just concentrate on what you're doing. Take your own pace. Don't fall into the fast pace, because that's where Lenny thrives, right? He's really good at it.
He's trained for that, right?
Yeah, exactly. And Lenny doesn't let what you do affect his game, right? He goes at his own pace when it's his time. So he's really good at that. But you can tell Matt's not really watching the match, so he's going at his own pace. He's struggling a little bit. So it's probably a good thing he's not looking at what Lenny's doing, right? You don't want to see how far Lenny is in his match already.
You don't want to see a guy in the 8th or 9th frame, especially if you're throwing a couple of strikes. But then there's a couple of misses in 6 and 9. Wonder if that is maybe a bit too fast, or is it just, hey, I'm just not sharp here in the morning, first match, I'm in a match, and don't want to miss those. So now, on the other side is you got a guy that's 5 frames ahead of you, but honestly, he's only got 200 in the 9th, so it's really not that intimidating once you look at it. It's intimidating if a guy's got 4 in a row. You're like, oh shit. But you know what? Okay, I can pace myself and I can throw a 250 now in this match, and I'm ahead by 20 or 30 points. So just interesting dynamic of how the pace affects a match.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm wondering if the pace of play will actually, Lenny will look back. He's going to be done his game, and Matt will still have 4.5 frames done to go. So Lenny sitting down reviewing what his game was like, who knows how that's going to affect Lenny?
Yeah.
Maybe he'll take some insight out of it, or maybe there'll be a little bit of frustration sitting there waiting for somebody to finish, because you're not bowling them live.
But he was 10 for 10, right?
Yeah.
So you were all over the middle. So there's definitely no comments, or you can't be worried about the ball that he's throwing. It's just maybe it's just something that didn't work, and maybe there's a tweak that he's got to make on his in the line or something, right? Because the game's done, you're 2-12, and now Matt's got half a game just to kind of to do his thing. But Matt doesn't look like he's a super slow bowler. It's just that Len's a fast bowler.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and again, like you said, Matt's not looking at the scores.
No. So that's a 2-12 start for Lenny.
Yeah. So looking at Len's qualifying shift, bowled out a short bowl, one of the earlier ones in December there. Then he started. Qualified with the 2200, but had going along 318 in his 4th game, but then finished with a 346. So that's the thing that I think Len can do, is obviously get on this roll, and he just throws a bunch in a row, and he could have a 350, 360. And I think we've seen it many, many times over. His 16th game or his 8th game is usually a monster, right? Yeah. So that's the thing. He does find the line. He continues to pace, but finds the line that he can adjust to, and throw a bunch of bombs. And I see that coming up for him for sure. Yeah,
exactly. Lenny's definitely one of those guys you can't sleep on, because he'll come out and he'll throw his 10 frames while you're sitting in the 4th frame, and he can throw a lot of strikes in a row, right? So
and then the pressure is on there.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice strike there for Matt. So now Matt's moving along here, but a couple of punches. He's had 3 punches now, right? As he's trying to get some momentum and get something going. That would have been a big one there in 9, but now a punch split with the 2 count. You're looking at likely a similar score to what Len had. So
yeah, exactly. Lenny's 212. Even though Lenny's probably not happy the way he finished by missing that corner and then punching in 10, he's actually not going to be a dog in this match at all after that, right? It's going to be fairly close. He's going to be within a ball or 2.
Have you bowled down at Dell Lanes, Kerry?
No, I think when we played nationals in BC, I think we played. It was Cloverdale, which I do believe is closed now,
And Scottsdale.
and Scottsdale, which is closed as well. Is it not?
Scottsdale's closed? I'm not sure if Scottsdale's closed.
Maybe not. Maybe not. I think it was up for sale.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if it transitioned yet.
Oh, another punch there. That's 4 punches for Matt. So maybe him again too might have to look at just a little bit of a different line. Again, not bad. You're hitting the middle and you're on your spot, but there are times when there's a time when I think we've talked about it. Head pins are good, and there's a time that head pins are not good, right? And you throw a shitty shot, right? But there's times that you throw a good ball and you still get a head pin. But.
Yeah, exactly. And like Matt was all over the middle. He had a couple misses, 1 in 7, and I think 1 in frame 1. But he's been all over the middle. It's just taking a little bit of time to figure out his line. Like he said, he said he's thrown some games, but really how much practice? No idea, right?
Well, it's tough too. I think it's competitive practice, right? I mean, and that's the tough thing. You can throw a bunch of balls, but once you start getting into a match, I think things change a bit. They do.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Nice that Len says he's playing against his daughter in a match, which is good. You need a little bit of competitive. Bowling on your own to throw a bunch of games is kind of practice, but you want to throw something meaningful.
Yeah, exactly. So we got started with Matt with 203 and Lenny 212. So let's bring those guys back in here. Oh, my beautiful face again. All right. Matt with the 203 and Lenny with the 212. Len, how was that lunch break you had there after?
Well, it's good. It gave me time to think about everything that went wrong, because I had that unfortunate thing. We were warming up and I wasn't really comfortable, but it was going okay. And then about 6 minutes before we started, I tried a new line, and it worked really well for the last few balls. I thought, oh, this is great. I'm going to try it. And as soon as we said, let's go, and started going, I just noticed I was throwing the ball harder. And so I don't know if it was a new line or not, but I'm definitely going to switch balls now to a 5-inch, because I usually can get away with overthrowing the 5-inch ball that I can't with the smaller ball, and go back to the line that I'm intended on playing when I came here, and see if it makes a difference.
Before we move on to Matt here, I've seen you miss a few corners. Was that the same speed problem, or was that just not lack of throwing at corners?
No, it was speed.
Oh,
definitely speed. Yeah.
Well, he couldn't have missed.
You got to punch the first game, man. It's okay.
Yeah, Matt had 4 punches, four head pins.
Yeah.
Well, Len had a couple too, but yeah, Matt, you had a couple unfortunate head pins where you tried to get on a roll a bit, and then those head pins crept in on you.
Keeping it close, Len. That's so kind of you.
Yeah. Keeping everybody interested. They're probably asleep, but at least they know it's close.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But you did go quick, obviously, Len, and we already talked about that. Obviously, pace, that doesn't bother you. I mean, it's just sort of how do you play against it, or how do you? But you're typically always the same pace. But we did say there's likely a line change coming up. He's not going to change how fast he goes. It's just going to change the line that it is, and you see a couple of missed corners in there. It's like you can see you were 10 for 10 on the middle. So it's not like you weren't throwing a bad ball. It's just something just wasn't quite there. And you're so quick at adjusting that and adapting. So
it's something to get used to when you I like playing quick, but also when you are playing a match against somebody and you have to wait, like when you're doing a regular tournament, you're going frame for frame. You have a little bit of time in between to sit back and think about things and take things in and say, you know what, maybe I should try an adjustment here, or I should try this. This one, it's just happening so quick that I just sat back and said, we'll think about it in between games, and if we're going to make an adjustment, we'll make it then and see if it works. And if not, you pretty much go with what you started with, and hopefully it starts working.
Yeah. And how about you, Matt? You thinking maybe just a slight adjustment there on the middle? You still feel good about those balls thrown, or were they just they were obviously on the beak, but
yeah, maybe slightly move. They still felt good though.
Good. Well, like we said in there, I mean, the matches are always close. There's only 9 pins different, so it's not over. There's lots of games left. So have at her. Game 2 coming up, guys.
All right. Good luck again, Matt.
Yeah, let's go.
There you go.
All right.
So not much of a difference, a little bit. But interesting, Len said, you're right. After your 2 frames each time in normal match play, you could stop and think and adjust and really analyze those 2. But this format allows for somebody to not think a whole lot and just trust it and roll with it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that was kind of what we were talking about in game 1. Is that going to affect Len because he doesn't have that, or doesn't take the time in between the shots because he's not playing live, right?
Yeah. But a bit of the Dexter sort of speed up mentality, right? Don't allow those comments to creep in. So you just train yourself to muscle memory to go, right, and trust it. But some guys can't do that because then they're not focused enough on that shot. You have to stand there. You have to take your time. You have to prepare and be mentally ready to go, right? So everybody's different, obviously, in their approach in the game. I mean, we talked about one of the best bowlers in Canada, Adam Weber. Adam stands on the lane, gets his fingers ready, gets his body ready, gets his mind ready before he goes and throws.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a completely different way to look at the game compared to, like you said, Dexter and Len.
Yeah.
They're doing their prep ahead of the game, and then they're just relying on literally muscle memory and a quick amount of focus, right? It's not overthinking stuff.
There's a quick triple for Len. So his slight adjustment is obviously he's so good at being able to knowing his game, and another one there back from Matt that he's able to adjust to that role.
Yeah. Unfortunate headpin there, but triple's huge, right? And now Matt's got to get up and start throwing some strikes.
Yeah, he's got to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like either one of them really looking at the score sheet of the other guy, right? Obviously, I see that Len has his wife and daughter there with him. It's probably monitoring a little bit and sort of maybe some news, or at least at the end of the game. Matt, obviously, not sure if he's got somebody there with him and watching and sort of notifying, and if you even want to know, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the unfortunate thing with us not knowing Matt very well. Obviously, we've been on tour with Lenny for quite a while. So learning Matt's intricacies in a 3-game match is probably going to be a little tough. But obviously, he can play, like headpin 3-bagger, right?
Seems like Glenn found that left side, a little bit of the left line. Even Matt found that left line. You can see it coming in a bit from the left to the right. Both of them as left-handers there, that seemed to be better. Matt it's definitely a board or 2 over for both of them that you can see.
Yeah.
And that one crosses the side, so the finger wave.
Yeah, I think they're both starting to feel it here.
Yeah. Ooh, so I think that left corner there, right corner for Matt, and Len's definitely on that roll. Got to be one of the guys that hits the middle, highest middle percentage on tour. You'd think, hey, and you have to be. And a guy going at that pace, you have to be automatic on the middle. Yeah,
exactly. You can't be that quick and be missing all the time, right? It's just shattering.
Yeah, then you're just a puzzle. What is going on? Yeah. So here's our Len now. Triple punch 5-bagger going 6, right? So we're shooting 352. We talked about.
Yeah. Ooh,
little
quick on that one.
Yeah, a little loose. Yeah.
He's still got a great game here sitting, so no damage to make this spare.
Nicely done, Len. Good finish.
352. So a 564 double.
Oh, and Matt covered it. Good.
Nice. Yeah, this is, you know what? Like, I think Matt's feeling it. He's probably not paying attention to the score.
It definitely doesn't look like. Yeah, definitely doesn't.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
He finished this game strong, and it's still going to be within a ball. Oh,
there
nice.
You go. Yeah. Good for him. Yeah, he's definitely not looking at score. And I think that would be something, too, you'd have to tell yourself before, whether Len or Matt knows Len, or if you were playing Len. In this format, do not, whatever you do, look at what Len is doing.
Yeah.
Right. Do not, right? It'd be a hard one for me to tell myself to do that because he'd be done in
Right.
6 minutes and I'd be like, oh my God, calculating in my head every single frame. What do you got to get? So even more important in this format to not look. And Matt clearly is not. He's just sort of backing up on the approach, getting off, getting a second ball and rolling. So
Yeah, exactly. Crossed
Which-
over for nice.
yeah, which is going to be interesting because he's got a potential 360 here. And he's going to be they're going to be even in their match. He's like, what the heck? I just thought of 360. Didn't even watch my opponent and we're still even. But yeah, man, that's what it's going to be. And he's not surprised by it. So
No. Oh,
good
nice
for
thick
him.
one.
Yes, well
That's
done,
huge.
guys.
Huge
I love
hit.
that this match. Well done. I want to get so excited right now. And
Yeah, like-
Len too. Like Len's, I
Yeah.
finished my game ahead of time. I shot 350, and this guy just comes and shoots. But he's probably like, "Oh, I expected him to." So what's from? Well done, Matt. Well done, guys. Kudos to you guys.
All right.
Match is
Yeah.
even.
564 to 563.
Wow. Amazing.
We'll just update the totals here on screen, and then we'll bring in the guys here. So Matt, after 2, has 563, and Len has 564. Alrighty, let's do that. All right, let's bring these guys in. Well, would you guys think was going to happen after throwing those monster games?
Well, I'm glad my adjustment worked, but it looks like whatever Matt did worked as well. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 564 for Len to 563 for Matt. You guys struggled
let's
the
go.
first game and then threw absolute bombs the second game, and you're still within a pin.
Love it. It did definitely look, though, both of you made very minor adjustments coming in, slightly different. That was obviously freewheel and allowed you both to freewheel and then get on a roll, right?
yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
I know myself. I had a few questionable balls there, but everyone that I thought was questionable, I got away with. Like didn't exactly put it down where I wanted to, and I'm like, well, it looks like it's going to work. Oh, it worked. So happy
Yeah,
with
it
that.
still worked.
Yeah.
One thing we noticed is you guys were both kind of hitting left pocket most of the time. Is that something you both shoot for? Is that your money shot, or how does that work for you?
For me, it definitely for me, I shoot for the left. That being said, I've got on a lot of strings where I go to the right, and I just know that if I'm going to miss, I usually miss to the right. That's why I aim for the left pocket, because I figure if I miss, I might get lucky and go over the other side.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, left definitely sweet spot.
Yeah. You both got away with a couple right pockets, but yeah, the majority of your hits were definitely left side, and they're obviously good out of your hand because you're both turning around. Matt's fist pumping in frame 10, like it's
Yeah.
good. We love it.
Now, do either one of you, Matt, do you know where Len was at? Did you know what he shot in his game, or are you just doing your thing and staying
No.
focused that, okay, you're going to do your thing? So
Just
at the end
focused.
of the game, you shot a 360, you're thinking you might be up by a monster, and you're like, oh, great, I'm still only down by 1. And Len, you're probably sitting here, you throw out 350, you don't know what Matt finished, but you're thinking, potentially, I'm going to be up a bunch. And that obviously them all off. And hey, that's the way this is designed. It's a guy that doesn't have to watch, and you can play, and you're both qualified, so you know that you're both good enough to shoot big games like that. So.
Yeah, no, it's good to see. There's nothing. It's that's the one thing when you're playing match play in a live tournament, you're kind of always hoping that the guy you're playing with is throwing well, because it seems to drag you along and get going. I know if I'm down pins, usually I'm hoping that we both get on doubles, because I know that one plow all of a sudden is a 60-point swing, and it's just easier to do the math. And yeah, lots of times when I'm playing somebody, I'm hoping they're throwing strikes, because that'll get me focused usually.
Yeah. Well, what do you think, guys? We're at game 3. I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm probably not going to pay attention to the scores. It seems to work so far. So just go and do your thing, and we'll catch up after. And the winner will be who will be.
Yeah, there you go.
Sounds good. Have another good one, Matt.
All right, you too, man.
Guys. All right. All right. So yeah, within one pin. This is going to be interesting. All right, here we go. Lenny off to the races already. Both rough start right off the bat, but
yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this game goes. I don't see it honestly going a whole lot different with anybody slowing or looking or watching any scores. Len will be the first one done, obviously, and just wants to put up a big score.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't expect Matt to watch and to see what it is he needs. It might. I mean, that'd be the tough thing as you get closer. What do I need? Do I need it or do I not need it? So it'll be interesting to watch and to see how it goes down.
Yeah, exactly. But I think you're right. I don't think either one of them are going to be looking at the scores. They're just going to try and concentrate, pick up as many sticks as they can, and hopefully it's enough, right? All right, so Matt's off to a little bit better start than Lenny, but like we've seen, Len can rattle off a triple in no amount of time, right? So.
We haven't really mentioned it, but obviously Matt left-handed, but also left slider. So what you'd call a goofy foot or a bocce bowler, but interesting, and obviously does just fine. There's a few bowlers out there that play that way, but not one that necessarily a lot of coaches are going to train the kids on. But it's something that he's done and had success at, so you can't change it, right?
Yeah, he's obviously done really well at it. There is quite a few of those players that like Matt Innes out of Southern Ontario plays bocce style as well, and he's won a Master Singles, so. Or no, sorry, Canadian Open singles. And
Matt is clearly feeling it now with a spare 4 in a row.
Yeah. Well, but Lenny's put three black marks together, right?
Oh yeah, Matt is zoned in right there.
Yeah. Oh, Len just missed to the left there.
First miss? Honestly, I don't know if I've seen one yet for him in the 3 games.
Yeah, that might be his first one.
Yeah, Matt is he got basically the same shot there for a number of those strikes. Big sweeping arm swing. Like his energy, like his mojo, he gets fired up, but then right back at it and ready to throw another one. Let's see if we can get him out to some WCBT events.
Yeah, no doubt. Len made a good clean there. I think Lenny, with that little walk around, probably knows he needs to get going. He needs to finish this game huge, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think while watching or knowing a guy could finish with a 360 the last game, that there's probably thought thinking that he's going to shoot something again good, so you got to get it. Got to get after it early.
Yeah. I see our internet is doing fantastic here.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody can still follow along.
I saw a miss left there, and I didn't know if that was going to be a pitch 3, but obviously it's just a miss. So well covered. Tough corner pin miss there for Len in 7. Not sure if it really was going to make a difference, to be honest with you. It doesn't look like it's going to. Len's max now is 291, and Matt's got that covered. So
yeah, it's tough, right? You get the strike, he gets the high chop, makes the spare strikes, and then the miss, right? And walks around, sees probably Matt was on the 5-6 bagger, right?
Yeah,
so it's a lot to look at.
I'm thinking that there's likely a camera, or they definitely know what. I mean, Tracy's in the back there, knows that Matt's on something. It could be a head nod or some sort of a discussion, knowing that what Matt could have, but. Yeah. Matt just throwing bombs early on. That's tough to defend against, right? And in a live match, could be a little bit more defense going on, right?
Oh, for sure.
You can play that game. You can do your own thing by taking time, by going faster, by talking to a player, by high fives, by whatever. It's not like you're playing mental games, but there's defense. right?
Yeah.
Whereas
yeah,
in this,
exactly.
you have zero control on what the other guy is doing. Absolutely zero.
Yeah. Yeah. Now Lenny's just getting punished.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. When you're playing a live match, it's not so much defense, it's making emotional moves or whatever for yourself, right? To keep you in the match. And if it affects the other player, it affects the other player. But this way, there's literally nothing you can do. Like you said, you can finish game 1 10 minutes faster than the opponent, but does it really affect them? Probably not.
No, you exactly, because you can't control anything that they're doing, right? You really can't. They can block out what you're doing, so you can't even see them.
Yeah, exactly.
All you can do is throw your own game and your own strikes. Whereas live, yeah, sure, you can play defense, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're just gonna update the totals here. So Matt finished with a 906 triple.
Nice, 900 triple. It could be our first one that we've seen so far in our programming. 900 triple, but that's a couple of big games there. Found that rhythm, found that role for that game 2 and 3. Just a pile of strikes. And Len's still a respectable 760, and obviously having a 350 in there is nice to have a big game. But
yeah, exactly. All right, let's get Matt in here. Not sure what happened to Len. Len isn't in our background studio anymore, so not sure.
He's out. He's out. Yeah.
It could be he was unaware maybe of the interview after. Not too sure. Don't want to read too much into that. But another great game. 343 there, Matt. Great finish.
Yeah, I don't know who threw the 9 or the 10th, but that's okay.
Yeah, you sure seem to be in a rhythm, in a role there. That 6-bagger that there's just bombs, and you knew right away. You must have been feeling comfortable on the lanes, and even standing there, back getting the ball. I mean, everything about those just looked to be automatic, no question.
Going into this, were you thinking like a 900 to move on, or what were the thoughts going in? Were you trying to reach a number by any particular means?
No, but I know I needed to shoot high. I knew it.
Yeah.
So that was my focus.
Did you ever at one point in time, did you know the score, or did you know what Len was at any of those 3 games, or did you simply just block it out and went and played your game? You didn't know. Just
blocked out and focused. Yeah.
Nice. And that's been the interesting thing. A couple of matches we've sort of seen, like in the 3rd game, guys will start to go, okay, lane, game, frame. Obviously, you and Len playing a different pace that was a little bit different. But, it's just, you didn't look like you were watching it all and knowing. So good on you, man. You threw some great shots and big bombs and did what you had to do to get the job done.
Yeah, it worked out.
Now we got to see you at the WCBT. You got to come out to some events. Hey?
That's maybe not really.
Yeah.
Maybe not really.
Yeah. Don't stop being a cheap.
Yeah.
All right. Well, great playing, Matt. We'll try and get your next match scheduled up for you, and good luck in the future.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Right on. Good job, man.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, that was awesome bowling.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I know.
So, just so you guys know, you just can't start game 2 before the other guy's done game 1. Okay. And then in between each game, we just want you to come back and we'll just talk to you really quick and all that good stuff.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Have a good match, guys.
All right. Good match, Ryan. Good luck.
Oh, well.
All right. Here we go. Preliminary match between Ryan and Ryan. One from Dawson Creek and one from Toronto area, correct?
Yeah, they're in Nebs and in Dawson Creek, northern BC. So
about as far apart as we could possibly be. Both really nice, great centers. So looking forward to seeing how this match goes. Like, I got the opportunity to play in their doubles tournament in November last November, and I loved playing in Dawson. It felt like playing in Sherwood. It definitely felt comfortable right away. They've got some great pinfall. Really excited to see them get to showcase how great their center is and how great their bowlers are out there too.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think it's going to be pretty exciting to see.
The interesting thing is they have convertibles. I can't remember whether it's the first 2 or the first 4, but Ryan chose to play on convertibles on lane 1 there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ryan starts with a 15, and other Ryan starts with a 15.
Be a little confusing for a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start going by like last initials or something. So Dawson Creek Ryan has started with 2 straight punches. Probably just getting his feet wet here, and Ryan Cowen matched him. So we're gonna have our match start with 2 opens for each of them.
Yeah.
Probably just starting to feel things out, and it is a different atmosphere. It's something that you're not really used to, and when was the last time any one of these guys have thrown for anything of value? So
Yeah, for sure. Like, obviously with the pandemic and stuff, you can't really travel anywhere to play any good competition or anything like that. And even in your own house, they probably didn't allow a lot of competitive matches, or I guess I shouldn't say allow. They didn't have opportunities to have competitive matches. So
absolutely.
To add this little bit is pretty cool. For people wondering why Ryan's score sheet looks all funky, it's because their camera is a little tilted, so we did the best we can to make it look straight on your screen.
So they both throw strikes in 3. Dawson Creek Ryan, I don't know if he was expecting to have a 4-point lead with 26 and 2, but that's kind of the way bowling is, right? Game of momentums.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they both come back with a strike in 3, so starting to get their feet under them.
A little bit of chop off in 4 for so what are we gonna call it? Just Ryan B, Ryan C, or are we gonna go BC Ontario?
Yeah, let's go BC Ontario.
Perfect.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, so BC Ryan's got his chop spare. Got a 12. You got a kickback.
Ooh, the Nebs kickback.
They're absolutely matching each other right now.
Yeah, spared.
Open, strike, chop spares. BC Ryan's pulling a little bit to the left. And we have our 3rd lefty of the day.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Great shot by Ryan Cowen there. Ooh, and good push by BC Ryan there.
Not getting any sound from BC Ryan's house, but that's all right. We have enough sound in Ontario to cover the ambience that people like to enjoy when they're watching bowling.
So it looks like we have 76 in 4 for BC Ryan to 82 for Ontario Ryan in the 4th frame.
Ooh, a little bit of a struggle in 6 there for our BC Ryan.
Yeah, they're both going to open 6. That was a good opportunity to make a little bit of pins back, but that's all right. It's still early for both of them.
So we should probably give a little insight into how these guys got here.
Yeah.
So Ryan Cowen shot 22-20 to qualify 16th overall. he was super consistent. Games 4 and 5, he had a 335, 338 to give him the little bit of edge that he needed to break into the qualifying number. But was super solid. Had a low game of 213, but that was his lowest game.
Yeah.
And then Ryan B. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. We didn't have a lot of time to converse before, so I could get that pronunciation proper. He struggled right off the bat. He had a 4-game total, not very good to start, but then he shot 343, 344, 380, 279 to get to 22-11.
Yeah, his last 4 were insane. Quick math, he must have been in around 850 for his first 4, and like 1360 for his 1350 for his last 4.
Yeah.
Unreal. That's how fast this game could change.
He had 865 for his first 4.
It's an insane last 4. Great shooting.
Yeah,
But
and then shot 1346 for his last 4.
it's Dawson Creek there. Hypertension Lanes is a family-owned center. Ryan is a fantastic bowler. His dad, Richie, is phenomenal too. He was averaging 270 last year. The whole family is really talented. And they're great owners. They're super passionate about the game. They're super involved with the community out there. And you can definitely see the following that they have between them and Grand Prairie. And you can see why, too, because they're all such great people. So, but they are fantastic bowlers. And it looks like he just needs to get into a little bit of a rhythm here. But, yeah, it looks like they're playing pretty solid match play right now.
Yeah, for sure. You were speaking about the GP guys. They sure talk a lot about going up to Dawson Creek and playing the events up there and stuff. They love it. It's obviously a great center to have so many players playing out of there that have made the cut. You have Sasha Latender and Carter Stretch as well, right?
Absolutely.
And even Jeremy Clote went up there too, and he qualified as well.
Yep. Looks like BC Ryan's going to get a little quick with his feet there. He's pulling everything left. Pulling out of his shot and yank it. That was much better. Oh, good cover too. It's a big spare.
That's a super spare.
Throws. Yeah. It looked like that was pretty skinny on the left-hand side there for Ryan Cowen.
Yeah.
But good strike in 9, so cover up this spare and he can get to 200.
Oh, so yanked it a little bit. And then BC Ryan follows up with another left 3-pin. I'm guessing this isn't how they wanted to start their matches.
Yeah, this isn't how we wrote it up, that's for sure. But that's okay. That's why it's a 3-game match.
Yeah, exactly. Laughing at himself, but you got to do that in bowling, right? You can't.
Yeah, you're sitting there being angry isn't going to help you.
No. So we have 184 for Ryan Cowen and 174.
I think that's what it looks like. We'll find out in a second here.
We'll confirm with these guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, beat him. No, I didn't.
That was a rough start there, guys. The good thing is it's within a ball. You guys are really close to each other. So Ryan,
Which one?
from Dawson, how do you pronounce your last name?
Beaulieu.
Beaulieu. Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
Beaulieu.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. What did you end up with there? We couldn't quite see with your score sheet.
176.
176. All right.
Yeah.
So 8-pin difference. Ryan Cowen ended up with 184. So you guys are really close here.
Yeah, tough game.
We'll blame it on the technical issues and all that.
Yeah,
good stuff.
we're gonna. Yeah, I'm definitely blaming that one. That wasn't me, guys. Come on now.
That's quite okay. It just looks like you're both struggling a little bit with timing at the moment. That's
We
all.
didn't want to go too good today, right?
That's good. All the matches can't be unreal. We gotta bring people back to earth, right?
You never know. You never know.
No, that's right. And it's a close match. It's kind of the way match play is, right? It's funny.
Mhm.
It's funny how we're doing this format where you guys are across the country and still match play is still match play. It's
Yeah,
still-
it comes right down to the last ball. It comes down last ball. It's fun though.
absolutely. How are you guys feeling out there? What adjustments are you guys gonna make for the next game?
Personally, I got to get the ball out there. I'm dropping it pretty bad right now, so I gotta get it out there. Stay straight. I'm slouching a little right now, but I think that's what all I got to do. But we'll find out.
No, that sounds good.
And you, Mr. Cowen, what are you gonna do to better your next game?
I think I just need to go my own pace because I'm naturally slow this format. Even when I was qualifying, I would be in like the fourth frame and everyone's else in the seventh and eighth. So I try to catch up, and it makes my game go downhill and get a lot of head pins and stuff like that. And I kind of saw it this game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's the great thing about this format is you can go at your own pace and try and get what you can to get your best score, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, guys, you're within 10 pins, so good luck this next game.
All right, let's get her going.
More than 200 this time.
Yes, for sure.
Fingers crossed.
Well, they're both good sports about it. Everybody has those bad games, right? So get out there and better it, right?
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's not like we all haven't thrown a $180 or a $170 in a qualifying shift or something like that. But that's the great thing about this is, you know what, you're facing somebody else, and you know if you shoot your $170 and he shoots 350, then that's trouble. But you know he shoots a $170, a $180, it doesn't matter one bit. Just come back out, regroup, start throwing your shot.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good shot by Ryan Beaulieu.
Beaulieu, I like that. That's awesome.
It rolls off the tongue, you know?
Yeah, it's like we've been saying it all our lives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a good shot. Buried left pocket.
Yeah.
Got tapped a little, but that's a far better shot we're seeing from him.
Yeah. So Ryan Cowen kind of said that he was gonna take his time and stuff like that up there, but he was the first guy up there and threw the ball right away. So hopefully he takes his own advice and settles his nerves and throws another good shot here.
Yeah, and he was pretty quick to get up there for his second frame too. So.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Left corner.
Left corner, yeah. Little skinny in the right hand side, but a far better shot. That's good. It's a good starting point.
Yeah. You see Beaulieu even is slowing down a little bit, probably in anticipation that Ryan Cowen's going to slow his game down.
Oh, for sure. And playing at that quick of a pace is difficult for a lot of people. You know, it's just abnormal. It's not something that anybody is really used to. We see it every once in a while playing in one-on-one matches. You can have some matches go pretty quick, but even still, you still have to wait for somebody to throw 2 frames. Whereas this, you don't have to even do that. So it's pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly.
Looks like Ryan missed the spare and picked up the wood. Ryan Cowen, sorry. And Ryan Beaulieu is going for his second left corner spare in a row. And it looks like it's bang on. There you go. So Ryan Beaulieu has made up that those pins that he lost last game. So pretty much dead heat at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess probably should look. So the winner of this match will move on to face Talon McGraw out of the Toronto Hamilton region. He qualified out of Mountain Lanes as the 5th overall qualifier.
Right.
I think he not shoot for what was it? 448. That's right.
Yes, that's right.
It's been 9 months. We're trying to remember everything that happened.
Looks like Ryan Cowen went 5.55, and Ryan Beaulieu was just sparing everything. That's all you can do sometimes. Ryan Cowen really does need to start taking his time here because, you know, he's 4 frames in. He hasn't even stepped back off the approach, really. And himself, he admitted that it doesn't work for him. So he definitely, you're right, he needs to start taking his own advice there for sure. Especially since Ryan Beaulieu is, you know, taking his own time up there too.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Ryan Beaulieu has really slowed his game down.
Yeah.
Like I said, anticipating probably Ryan Cowen doing the same, but
Yep.
looks like he's taking a few seconds here. Hopefully, trying to reset himself.
Yeah, it looks like Ryan Cowen went to the back to just take a breather, and that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Ooh, touch skinny. So 56, 76. If Ryan Beaulieu picks his pins, he should be at 91 in the fourth to Ryan Cowen's 54 in the fourth. He missed, so 88. 88 in the fourth to 60 or 54. So he's made up 34 pins and has taken a small lead. And there we go. Ryan goes 5 spare to get his first mark of the game. So there. That's sometimes that's all you need, you know, just that little start to kind of feel a little bit better about yourself and then find that rhythm again.
Yeah, totally agree. Oh, a little skinny there.
Yeah, he's close. It's real close to being really good, but just coming in a little light.
Oh, got the strike there.
There you go. So 5 spare followed by a strike. And he's going to take a breather, which is a good thing.
Yeah, gonna take his time here.
Ryan misses the chop spare, so now it's right back to anyone's game again, really. Good pins.
It's kind of funny, I guess, watching all these matches and commentating on all of them and seeing guys come out super hot. Beaulieu's fist pumping his strike.
But that was a really good shot. That's the first one I've seen hit right side. And with his rotation and his ball speed, I think if he hits right side, he'll throw strikes all day. But you're right. It's funny how no matter where you are, like, you know, you see 2 people start pressing and they continue to press, and you see 2 people start throwing strikes and they continue to throw strikes, and it's funny how the format doesn't seem to change the nature of the game.
It's contagious, if you will, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you catch what the other bowler's doing sometimes. There's the odd time you'll see somebody walk away with a match, but not too often. It always seems to come down to the last few frames of every game.
Absolutely. And you're right, it's absolutely contagious. You see somebody punch and then you're sitting there, you're like, oh man, like, you know, I throw this one, then I'm good. And you really want that one shot, and then you press on that shot and you end up punching, and then it's just, it is absolutely contagious.
Yeah. It looks like Mr. Cowen got the split there in 7. Or is that 8? That's 8, sorry. Jeff England's fancy scoring system takes a little bit getting used to.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, so he just did a score correction and auto reset the proper pins.
Yeah.
I love that.
That technology has been around since 1980, but nobody else seems like they can do it.
Dino score. Yeah. Yeah. That's another good shot by Ryan Beaulieu.
Yeah.
Came in a little high, but some good splash there. He's been really solid in his corner, so
Yeah, just keep plugging away.
There you go.
Yeah. Both Ryans, like, obviously both of them are struggling a little bit. Beaulieu with pin carry and Ryan with just finding a rhythm. I think Mr. Cowen, finding a rhythm.
Yep, 100%. That's really what this game is all about.
But strike going into 10, right? He can still get to 227.
That's a great shot by Ryan Beaulieu, and 3-pin rolls in the 2-pin, and the 2-pin slow falls straight backwards. So good shot there. Both have strikes going into 10.
Couldn't tell. He didn't.
No.
He didn't seem super confident just the way he stood up out of that. But I haven't seen Ryan Cowen play very much, so I'm not too sure how his demeanor is. So
He has the nickname Iceman
oh,
because
okay.
nothing gets to him. So I don't know if you're going to see a lot of emotion out of him.
And that's perfectly fine too. That's his way to play, and he's won a club tour event, so he can play.
Ryan Beaulieu just missed left and got an 8 count. That is the worst break in 5-pin bowling in my mind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it makes that spare so much tougher.
Bet you he wishes he checked those string tensions before this match now.
It could be the convertibles too, right? Sometimes it just takes, hitting the pin up tops in a funny way, and that's what happens. So it looks like Ryan Cowen finished with 193. And I can't quite make out what Ryan Beaulieu finished with.
Yeah. I will when we bring him in here, we'll get his score. All right. So Beaulieu, what's your score there, sir?
216.
216. All right.
Well,
We're going up.
Ryan Beaulieu, you looked way more in control for sure.
Yeah.
You got 3 corner spares off the start. You were super solid in all those spares. It was coming in a touch thin, but you were way more accurate. You looked way more comfortable.
Definitely felt better.
The 8 count in 10 is that's honestly the worst break in 5-pin bowling. I hate seeing that happen. It sucks.
It's so hard because either you're going to puncture it or you might hit it good, but sometimes you leave the corner a whole lot too, right? So that's
it makes that spare way more precise.
Yes, very.
Ryan Cowen, it looked like it took you 4 frames to start taking your own advice.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently.
You were
finally
still,
slowed down.
Yeah, you were still super quick.
And then right when I got going, I got some bad breaks there. But
Yep.
especially that last ball I threw in 10 where I got the 3 count, and then I hit the head pin, which I thought was on the side, and it went straight back.
Yeah, for sure.
But
it's
bowling right.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, and you looked way better once you did slow down, and it looks like you're starting to get your timing and your feet under there. You got some doubles, you got some good strikes in there. It looks like it's coming around for you. So definitely keep up with that slower pace for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Hopefully, I take my advice in the first frame this time.
Yeah, that's right.
So the score for Beaulieu is 392. Cowen is 377. 15 pins apart, 1 ball. You guys are keeping it close.
Oh boy! All right.
All right, boys. Have a good last game.
Good last game.
Good luck.
All righty. Here we
All right,
go.
let's see what happens.
This is all for the meat and potatoes. I
I love
guarantee
it.
they don't throw less than 216.
No matter how this turns out, at least it's still exciting,
That's right. It's still super close. That's insane.
That's right. Absolutely. Ryan Cowen's taking his time right off the bat.
That's right. Oh, tough start for Beaulieu. That straight back head pin.
No, he looked solid at the line though, just probably bad location, but it didn't look too bad of a shot at all.
Yeah.
You could tell he gets a ton of rotation.
So your body covers the pins so you can't see the pins.
Getting A little bit of feedback there, it seemed.
I don't know. Chop off Orion.
Yeah.
Cowen. I can Cowen.
yeah. Beaulieu and
Ugh.
Cowen. Beaulieu and Cowen.
All right, so Ryan Cowen has the opportunity to make up all those 15 pins in the first frame. So that's honestly what you're looking for in these matches. It's funny, playing with Freddie Toffelmeyer. He really didn't care too much about picking his wood and stuff. And when we were at Masters Nationals, I talked to him about how, like, when I'm in a match, I'm thinking in denominations of 15 because that's a ball. How many balls behind am I? So, and if I pick my 2-pin and that gives me, puts me at 29 pins behind, then I'm only 2 balls. But I don't pick that 2-pin. Now I'm 3 balls behind, right? So it's interesting how important those shots are and all the pins are and all the wood, especially when you're coming down into these matches where it's a grinding match. You want to make sure that you're within a ball.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Ryan Beaulieu has been super solid on his corner spares, that's for sure.
It's kind of neat. We're keeping stats for this whole playoff event to see what the tournament average will be on sparing, corner spares, hitting the middle, strike percentages, and all that good stuff, to get a baseline to see literally some of the best players in Canada playing this specific event, to see what the competitive averages are across the board, right?
Totally. And I mean, those numbers might be skewed a little just because of obviously what's happened in the world, but I think that's important, and I think that's going to be important to look at. Hey, like, this person shot this total, and these were his stats, and this person shot this total, and these were his stats. And, we've talked about it lots where, you can you're not going to win a match throwing nothing but spares, but you'll absolutely lose a match by not making them, right? And the stats really start to prove those scenarios as we start going through them.
Yeah, exactly. And it is a small sample size because we're only doing the playoff stats and stuff like that. But you gotta start somewhere, and like you said, strikes win championships, but you can lose it by not sparing. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And I think that's where, like, the mental toughness and sort of that kind of stuff comes into play too. I mean, you start playing all these things and you get into the rhythm of stuff, and when I think a huge part of this game, especially in the match play format, is like once you find that rhythm and you start throwing those strikes, you do everything in your power to maintain everything exactly the same mental space the entire time, and just ride that wave for as long as you can without any sort of distractions, but that just comes with time and playing.
Yeah.
And not sitting up there being like, man, I really want the 7th one. Man, I really want the 8th one. You're just throwing another ball. Same feel.
Yeah. All right. So we got 79 for Beaulieu after 4, and 94 for Cowen. So we are exactly dead tied.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a really good shot out of Ryan's hand. You could see that he had some good fingers on that.
Yeah.
Beaulieu.
Oh, Cowen follows his spare up with a strike. So just from the little I've seen, obviously, Dexter, you've played up there against Beaulieu and stuff like that. He's like a pretty hard thrower.
I wouldn't say super hard. I'm gonna say like a medium ball speed. Well, I would say that he has a similar ball speed to me, somewhere around 44, 45, somewhere around there.
Yeah, and Ryan Cowen definitely has a little bit of a slower ball speed. Also left-handed, right? So he's creating a different angle. He likes to. I think he throws a pretty big backup, from what I remember of his club tour win.
I believe you're right.
Yeah.
Ryan Beaulieu got a little bit quick with his feet there and dropped the right shoulder into left, but Ryan Cowen's come out with 2 absolutely huge strikes in 6 and 7.
Yeah.
And that
Beaulieu's
will
still quick
certainly
there.
give him a good advantage here going into the 7th. This is going to be a really important shot for him. He could take full advantage of this.
Yeah.
That's a great shot.
All right. Beaulieu's going to have to put together 4 big frames, right? He can't let this run away from him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's time for Ryan Beaulieu to find that rhythm and just start throwing some strikes.
Before this game started, I was going to place some bets that these guys weren't going to throw under 216, but oh no.
Matching punches.
Yeah, man.
That's big for Ryan Beaulieu. He's going to need to make sure to pick his wood here, but at least that gives him a bit of a chance going into 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, he's gonna need it all in 8, 9, 10.
He is, absolutely. But as you can see from his qualifying scores, he can get on a rhythm really quick. So
yeah,
we'll see what he's able to do here. Is that 122?
122 and 7. So you can get to 257.
257, yeah. So which is realistically 272.
Yep.
Is what Ryan Cowen's magic number will be. Or
So
273.
30 sticks wins it for Ryan Cowen.
Yeah.
Or locks out Beaulieu. There's the bomb.
Keeps him alive.
Keep it going. Need a couple more of those. I'm really wondering if that is 122 or 132 now.
Yeah, it's so hard to see.
I think it is 122 actually. He had 102 and 5, 8 and 6, which gives him 110. Yeah. So it is 122. So yeah, like you said, 272 max all the sticks. Or sorry, 257.
It is 122 and 7.
Yeah.
Confirmation sent to me.
Nice. Push. Aces. Oh, dreaded aces and 10.
That's too bad.
Cowen got the corner.
But he'll be good to go anyways.
Yeah.
And that's it's just, the turkey in the middle. Well, I mean, he had the 5 straight marks, and when people are just grinding, getting those marks put together is big.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Wow. Two oh something.
Oh.
274 for Cowen. All right. And then we'll get Beaulieu to let us know what his final score is here. All right.
Did I lose?
Mr. Beaulieu, what was your last score?
204.
204. So for 596, and Mr. Cowen got 274 to get him to 651.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice game, Ryan.
Tough bowling, guys. Like Ryan, Cowen, you obviously figured it out at the end. You got, I think it was a 4-bagger in there, help you triple?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Strike, spare, turkey.
Yeah.
That's big. I mean, when you're in grinding matches, putting that together is absolutely huge, and that was the difference, right? I mean, Ryan Beaulieu, it looked like you had good moments, and then exactly.
Couldn't get a run going, but
Yeah.
it was out in the middle a lot, which wasn't bad. Just
Yeah.
not the outcome though, unfortunately.
We had it figured out. You had the double going into 10. If you banged out, you forced Ryan to throw 30 pins in 10.
Oh,
And those aces,
I
those aces
I knew
got
that. I
you.
knew that. So I just.
I put the 30 pins anyways. Just in
Yeah,
case.
it's true. It's true.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Well, thank you very much, Ryan Beaulieu, for joining us and
Yes.
competing in this great tournament. We hope you
Yes, thank
enjoyed
you, thank
it.
you. Oh, it
Yeah.
was really fun.
You
Had a lot
guys
of
as well.
good time.
Yes.
Good.
And Mr. Cowen, congrats on the win, and look forward to your next match.
Yes.
Congrats,
All right.
Ryan. Good bowling.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Good bowling, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.